Alright, this video is a little bit different than my other videos. I played an interesting game in the tournament practice room, and I thought it would just be funny to post it. I'm playing my corrupt control deck, and my opponent is playing a Brew. Let's go through the games. I wanted to see if anybody thought that I was kind of a scumbag here. I didn't intend to be, but at least I'm not playing Tron. Oh! Opening hand's good, so I keep that. My opponent plays a Delvar of Secrets. My turn 2, I get another Corrupt, and I have an opening to play a Sign in Blood, so I go ahead and cast that. I draw a third Corrupt, so if I can get to 4 mana, I can do some pretty sweet things, as long as he doesn't have a whole bunch of counterspells. My turn 3, I do nothing, and hope that he doesn't just go crazy. He just plays a Terramorphic Expanse and passes back. I decide to cast Tendrils of Corruption before he can untap 2 blue mana. He puts down a Midnight Guard, so I believe he's 3 colors, and he's an infinite combo deck. I do draw a Chainer's Edict, so I can deal with this before he can go infinite with this. I could have played Pestilence just to kill all the tokens if he did go infinite, but we're doing pretty good. We're up to 6 mana. Find another Sign in Blood, finds me a Night's Whisper and a Chainer's Edict, so I go with the Night's Whisper. Back up to 7 cards, pass the turn back. Opponent just plays another Delvar of Secrets, and I decide to kill that with a Geth's Verdict before my turn starts, just in case he has a counterspell. He does indeed have a counterspell, but now we have 2 Chainer's Edicts, but we decide to use the one out of the yard. This kills his creature, and he gets the turn back. He finds another Midnight Guard, go for a Chainer's Edict, that lands, and we have enough mana to shoot off our first Corrupt for 8 damage. He decides to scoop it up there, and nothing too scummy about this match. It's the next one that I think is kind of interesting. First hand is unkeepable, not enough lands. Our second hand has 2 2-mana kill spells and a Tendrils of Corruption, and enough lands to kind of get going. We find another land, so we should be all set. And here's where it gets interesting. My opponent plays a Circle of Protection Black. I don't see many people with Circle of Protection Black, so I have no way to deal with this. Even if I wanted to, I don't think Black has a way to deal with that. But we're not out of this game. There's a couple of win cons left in our deck. One is Pestilence. If we can ever get to an unholy amount of mana and a giant life total lead, we can kill him. Or, if you'll notice, I have 1 more card in my library than he does. So we can try to beat every threat in his deck and deck him. So let's see how this goes. Use a Distress to clear the way for our Chainer's Edict, finds a mana leak, and Chainer's Edict kills his creature. Find another Distress. Don't need to clear the way for anything, and I'm just going to wait for him to draw another counterspell that we can get out of his hand. He plays a Delvar of Secrets, which we go to Disfigure. That eats a counterspell, so that's alright. Shoot off a Geth's Verdict before my opponent can really do anything. He finds another Delvar of Secrets, which we use Tendrils of Corruption on in case we draw a swamp, so we can cast our Chainer's Edict out of the yard. Find another Chainer's Edict. Find a Disfigure, and we're just passing. He finds a Drift of Phantasms. He decides to cycle that to go get a Midnight Guard. Cast a Distress, find he has 2 Midnight Guards and a Presence of Gond. Let's take up Midnight Guard. There's no reason to get the Presence of Gond if he doesn't have any creatures in play. Sign in Blood ourselves because my opponent has drawn a couple cards or fetched a couple lands, and we can cast that second Distress to get the last Midnight Guard out of his hand. So he's sitting on nothing right now, and we essentially have 6 removal spells in hand, and we draw a Sign in Blood. Decide not to play the Sign in Blood because we would be behind on cards again, and we might want to shoot that off on his face. Find a Swamp, that's pretty much what we want to find. Find a Geth's Verdict. Uses a Gataxian Probe. We're a little bit further ahead on cards. Another Gataxian Probe, even further ahead. 4-card advantage at this point, so we can use a Night's Whisper. Fight a Tendrils of Corruption and a Geth's Verdict. Find a Corrupt. Opponent still not doing anything. I don't want to discard to hand size, so I Sign in Blood my opponent. There's another Circle of Protection Black. so that literally does nothing. He has 7 cards in his hand. Lays down a Delvar of Secrets. We wait until our turn, and we start trying to get this off the field. Use our first Chainer's Edict. That meets a counterspell. Flashback a Chainer's Edict. Another counterspell. Geth's Verdict. And a Dispel. We'll be taking 3 damage from this. Not the biggest deal when we're at 22. And we're going to start doing Chainer's Edict next turn again. He's cycling and tutoring for lands a lot, so we're pretty far ahead on cards. Find another land. Cast another Chainer's Edict. That one works. And we're back to waiting with a bunch of removal in hand. Preordain, down to 19 cards. Brainstorm, down to 18. There's another Corrupt. Whiffs on Evolving Wilds. Casts Preordain. Midnight Guard. And before our turn, let's just cast Tendrils of Corruption. Just to be mana efficient. On our turn, let's go for a Pestilence. Pestilence meets a counterspell. Let's go for a Chainer's Edict. Chainer's Edict works. Let's Night's Whisper to refill while we have the mana. Casts Gataxian Probe. Sees our hand is full of spells, and he scoops it up. He wasn't very happy about this, and I kind of feel bad for doing this to a person in the tournament practice room, but if I see a way to win the game, I'm going to go for it. That's not how the deck is built. I would rather have cast, 3 or 4 Corrupts at his face, but that's not what he allowed me to do. So let me know if this is a scumbag move. I kind of feel bad about it, but I also think it's pretty funny. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more Pauper content. Have a great day.